I have worked for a narcissist, and of course my mother is a narcissist. So I understand very well how difficult it can be to have to deal with a narcissistic leader. They can make your life miserable, and even worse than that, they can cause your career to stagnate. But as terrible a leader as a narcissist is, they can also be very charming. When combined with their apparent arrogance, that can help them convince others to follow them. It's important to understand that dynamic, since a narcissistic leader can often cause great harm. Keep watching to learn more about 7 characteristics of narcissistic leadership. Narcissistic leaders act in an entitled way. Narcissistic leaders, like all narcissists, feel as though they are entitled to all the best things in life. They believe they deserve the accolades at work, even if they didn't do the work. They can easily take credit for someone else's work and listen to others praise them for a job well done. It doesn't even occur to them that someone else deserves that praise. They justify these actions in their mind using a distorted view of the world. Other people, to the narcissistic leader, are simply extensions of their own identity. Therefore, they aren't really taking credit for someone else's work. That individual is just an extension of their own identity. They feel that justifies their actions. They are entitled to their ideas and work product. This is part of why narcissistic leaders cause so much damage to other people's careers. They don't let their coworkers get ahead. In fact, they prevent them from doing so by ensuring they don't get the recognition they deserve. They exploit their followers. Narcissistic leaders exploit their followers in every sense of the word. They often force coworkers and other followers to work long, hard hours. They don't give them the appropriate credit they deserve, and they blame them for any errors the narcissist makes. A narcissistic leader will exploit your enthusiasm for a cause or a job you're doing in any way they can. They will encourage you to work until you drop, and then they will take credit for the work you have done. If you try to protest, you are ridiculed for not being dedicated to the cause or not being a good team player. Additionally, since narcissists don't respect boundaries, they will expect their colleagues to be willing to work anytime, day or night. They don't respect a person's need for personal time. In their mind, as extensions of their own identity, their co-workers should be tirelessly dedicated to working toward the narcissist's goals. They are antagonistic. Narcissists are relentlessly antagonistic to keep the people around them distracted. That makes it much easier to manipulate and control what those other people are doing. Presenting an antagonistic effect also prevents other people from interacting with the narcissistic leader more than necessary. Such antagonism damages their followers' interest in their work. Even more sad is the fact that it is the followers who are already low on self-esteem that a narcissist likes to target the most. As researchers in psychology and business found in the Netherlands, those kinds of followers were easier targets and suffered more abusive behavior from their narcissistic leader. Those same researchers found that such abusive narcissistic supervision was associated with lower performance and higher burnout rates. Added to that antagonism is the narcissistic leader's propensity to take credit for other people's work and blame coworkers for their own mistakes. Narcissistic leaders need constant admiration. Another thing that narcissistic leaders need is constant admiration. They are always boasting about their achievements, even when they didn't do the work. Even if they do share some of the praise with coworkers, they will always highlight how it was their exceptional leadership that helped their coworkers to make their own contributions to the project. Remember that a narcissist needs this admiration to prop up their own self-esteem. They lack the internal identity mechanisms that allow healthy people to do this for themselves. That's why the narcissistic leader needs external validation almost constantly. I remember that narcissistic boss I worked for would strut around when he was complimented on his abilities. He was good at his job too, but his arrogance made it difficult to recognize that. Don't even think of criticizing them. Because the narcissist is full of shame and self-loathing, they can't tolerate being criticized. They fear that criticism will expose them as the flawed person they believe themselves to be. Criticism of a narcissist creates what is known as narcissistic injury. That fear of exposure causes the narcissist to panic, which is why they often erupt in narcissistic rage with even the most gentle of criticism. The only way to really provide constructive feedback to a narcissistic leader is to present the information in a way that allows the narcissist to claim credit for the idea. If a narcissistic leader can distort the situation so that they can believe they realized this on their own, they are more likely to incorporate critical feedback. Openly criticize underlings. Narcissists lack empathy, which is why they often criticize underlings openly. They don't have compassion for how that affects the individual's self-esteem. They can't put themselves in other people's shoes to understand how demeaning that type of criticism can be. They only see the situation as one where they need to motivate the individual to do what is best for the narcissistic leader. Because their own sense of self is so closely associated with how they are seen in the eyes of their superiors, they don't have any compassion for anyone under them. They just need them to do what the narcissistic leader wants them to do. If open criticism gets the job done, well, that's fine with them. Of course, this is demoralizing for the followers and employees of the narcissistic leader. They go to work every day with the fear that they will be targeted. Narcissistic leaders are not good team members. One thing for sure about a narcissist, they don't work well with other people. They aren't good team members. They are critical, aggressive, antagonistic, and unethical. They have no compunction about stealing other people's ideas. They will also lie, gaslight, and triangulate to cause discord among their coworkers. They will tell one follower one thing and another one something entirely different. They love to feel as though they are powerful enough to create the drama that results. They are not concerned with how it affects the job they need to do. They can always use the problems they cause as a way to blame other people for any failures. They also don't listen to other people's ideas, which makes it hard for anyone else to feel as though they're contributing to the team. They aren't a good coach or a good player. It's really just a recipe for discord and ultimately failure. Finally, the characteristics of narcissistic leaders can often bring them success, at least initially. They retain their leadership position by exploiting, using, and abusing their followers. Even when they're successful, that success rarely translates into success for you. They can't share the spotlight or the credit, and they only compliment you when they need something from you. Their manipulation tactics are cruel and can leave lasting emotional damage. They will even use your own emotions against you. That's one of the reasons I created a 5-step roadmap to heal emotional triggers. It can help you deal with your emotional wounds to prevent toxic people, like narcissists, from using them to manipulate you. It's a free guide that will show you how to identify, diffuse, and heal your emotional wounds. Just click on the link below this video and I'll send it directly to your inbox. Thanks for watching.